don't run out of energy because we're doing too much. We run out of energy because we're being too much of someone we're not. Isn't it strange how some people can sleep for 10 hours, take all the supplements, drink the green smoothies, and still feel exhausted? But a 5-year-old, fueled by nothing but toys and joy, can play around for hours like they're plugged into a power station. Why? What's the real difference? Here's what no one tells you. Energy doesn't just come from food or rest, it comes from being real. And the more we stray from that, hiding behind masks, roles, personas, the more drained we become, not just emotionally, but physically too. So stay with me until the end, because once you see what Carl Jung discovered about the psyche and chronic fatigue, you'll never look at your energy the same way again. Let's talk about something most of us are silently doing. Every day, we perform. We put on a version of ourselves we think the world wants to see. The friendly colleague, the put-together parent, the I'm fine person when we're breaking inside. We scroll past our real selves in favor of what's acceptable, likable, professional, or spiritual enough. Carl Jung called this the persona, the mask we wear to fit in. And while it helps us function in society, it comes with a hidden cost, because the more time we spend behind the mask, the further we drift from who we really are. And that disconnection is the real energy vampire. But it goes even deeper. Behind that mask lives everything we've pushed away. The shadow, our anger, our sadness, our shame, our unmet needs, all the things we were told not to be. And suppressing that shadow is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater all day. It's exhausting. Every time we lie to ourselves, say yes when we mean no, smile when we want to cry, overachieve to prove we're enough, we're leaking energy. Not because we're weak, but because we're not living in truth. Now think about children. They don't perform. If they're angry, they show it. If they're joyful, they explode with it. They don't have a persona yet. They haven't learned to edit themselves for approval. And that's why they radiate energy, because they're not divided inside. We were all like that once, fully plugged into our source, unfiltered, whole. Then, the world handed us a script. Before we continue, if you're someone who loves expanding your mind and exploring the deeper layers of life, make sure to subscribe to Fractal Wisdom. We're going much deeper in the next part, into how chronic fatigue is a message from your soul, and why performing inauthenticity doesn't just affect your energy, it affects your cravings, your diet, and even the food you choose to eat. So now that we've opened the door to the shadow and the persona, let's talk about food for a moment. Not calories, not carbs, but cravings. Because here's the strange truth. The more we perform, the more we pretend, the more processed our inner world becomes, the more we crave processed things. And it's not a coincidence. When we're disconnected from our true self, we're not just emotionally tired, we're spiritually malnourished. And in that emptiness, our body starts reaching for anything that feels like a hit of comfort, identity, or control. So we binge watch, we doom scroll, we eat food that's not even food. All because we've been consuming unreality all day, masking, smiling, pleasing, hustling, and the psyche wants consistency. If you're being fake, it will reach for fake. Your diet becomes a mirror of your self-expression. Carl Jung's concept of individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, has a ripple effect. It doesn't just make you feel better emotionally, it changes your desires. As we begin to heal, unmask, and reclaim the shadow, something profound happens. We stop craving what numbs us. We start craving what nourishes us. We don't want sugar highs and dopamine dumps anymore. We want real food, real rest, real conversations, real connection. because being real feels better than being liked. And as our psyche detoxes from persona life, our body follows. We begin to feel the difference between fuel that gives us life and distractions that drain us. Here's where we flip the story. What if chronic fatigue isn't a malfunction? What if it's a message? Not, "You're broken," but "You're off track." What if your exhaustion is your soul's way of pulling the emergency brake, stopping you mid-performance and whispering, "This isn't who you are"? Think about it. When you've had moments in life where you were fully you, maybe dancing, creating, laughing uncontrollably, or talking with someone where you didn't have to hide, did you feel tired afterward? Of course not. You felt alive. That's because energy flows when truth is present. Chronic fatigue isn't laziness. It's chronic self-abandonment. It's the body saying, "I can't carry this mask anymore." And now we're going into the psychology of performance and how the need to be liked creates an internal energy leak that even sleep can't fix. We'll also explore how emotional digestion is just as real as physical digestion, and how people who feel stuck are often digesting the wrong life. Most people don't realize they're performing. It doesn't feel like acting, it feels like survival. And that's the scariest part. We wear masks so well, they start to feel like skin. We don't just perform at work or in public. We start performing in our own homes, in our relationships, even alone in our own heads. We think, if I just keep being agreeable, if I stay polished, if I keep everyone comfortable, I'll be safe. But comfort doesn't equal connection. And the more you abandon yourself to make others feel okay, the more energy you burn just to get through the day. This is why so many people wake up tired, even after 8 hours of sleep. Because sleep rests the body, but performance drains the soul. And your soul doesn't recover with rest, it recovers with truth. The thing is, being liked is addictive. It gives a short burst of relief, a little nod of approval, but it's surface level. It's not real love. Real love happens when you're seen and accepted for who you actually are, not for the role you play. And until you break out of that loop of trying to be liked, you'll stay trapped in emotional debt, constantly overgiving, over-explaining, overthinking. This creates chronic stress, and chronic stress isn't just in your head. It floods your body with cortisol, burns through your neurotransmitters, disrupts your digestion, tanks your immunity. In other words, pretending literally makes you sick. If you've been pushing through the day like you're dragging 50 pounds of invisible weight, pause and ask, who am I performing for? Because behind that exhaustion is a deeper message, a calling, not to do more, but to be more yourself. So take a breath, because this is deep work. In the final part, we'll explore how your energy skyrockets when you return to your real self, and how everything from your food choices to your relationships begin to transform. Truth is medicine, and the cure for that chronic fatigue might be you finally coming home. Here's what almost no one tells you. Authenticity is not a vibe, it's a power source. When you live from who you truly are, your energy doesn't trickle in, it surges. It's like plugging your nervous system back into the grid of life. You don't need caffeine, motivation hacks, or productivity apps. You need congruence. When your words, your actions, your desires, and your values are aligned, the exhaustion stops. Because you're no longer using your life force to maintain a character. Let's talk about food again, because this is where it gets tangible. When you stop performing and start feeling, you don't want fake food anymore. Processed foods are like persona food, dressed up, manipulated, artificially enhanced. And just like performing, they offer a quick hit followed by a crash. But when you're connected to your real self, you begin to crave what actually nourishes you. Fresh food, whole food, soul food. Not because you're trying to be healthy, but because your body stops begging for stimulation and starts asking for substance. You start eating to fuel your presence, not to numb your pain. That's the shift no diet plan ever talks about. When you live without the mask, when you stop abandoning yourself to fit in, something magical happens. You begin to regenerate. Your sleep becomes deeper. Your digestion improves. Your body calms down. Your emotions stop spiraling. You become more efficient with less effort, because being yourself takes no extra energy. It's the pretending that burns through your reserves. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And I would add, the energy of a lifetime is found in that same place. If this video sparked something in you, if you're ready to stop leaking energy through performance and start reclaiming your life force, let's keep going. Subscribe to Fractal Wisdom and turn on notifications, because this channel is all about remembering who you are beneath the masks. And if this resonated, share it with someone who's tired, not just in body, but in soul. Let's start healing by being real, because the real you is unstoppable.